And welcome, whether you're joining us in person or online for our first meeting of 2026. For your awareness, we do have our Inspector of Policing Advisor, Ron LeClaire, online remotely, and we do actually have a board member that joined us for our closed meeting earlier this morning virtually, and he is trying to connect, so you may see Member Wallace pop in as well, but just for everyone's awareness. We are moving back from close where the board conducted business under section 44(2) of the Community Safety and Policing Act, including confidential business related to labor relations, finance, and legal matters. For those of you who were unable, to attend the first part of our meeting, which was in open session, we have now sworn in our newest provincially appointed member, Mr. Jeff Lang, to my left. Member Lang previously served on this very board, and we are extremely happy to have him back as we continue the important work ahead for the LPSB in 2026. This includes developing the 27 to 31 strategic plan through extensive community consultation and continue to build a strong foundation for this service to better serve our community. Mr. Lang has an impressive business and community-oriented background, and in addition to currently serving as the president and CEO of WSIB, he has also held several leadership roles, including vice president at Ronald McDonald House Charities, president of the Boys and Girls Club of London, board chair of the Alzheimer's Foundation of London, board member of Pathways Skills Development, and board member of the London Food Bank. So it goes without saying that Jeff is a Londoner and a community member to his core. So he's also been the driving force behind WSIB's expansion in London, which many of you have probably heard about, nearly doubling the local workforce and opening a new head office right here in the Forest City. So on behalf of the board, Mr. Lang, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you. We're thrilled to have your governance experience, your community involvement, your background in London, and you'll be an asset to this board and in our important role of the governance of London Police Service. So welcome back. Before we move into the business, I would like to ask for any disclosures of interest. Seeing none, any introduction of new business? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 17th, 2025 board meeting? Moved by Vice Chair Branscombe, seconded by Member Lehman. Any errors, omissions, corrections? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Anyone opposed? That's carried. All right. Well, it is now the chair and the vice chair annual elections. It's been an incredible honor and both a challenging and rewarding experience to serve as your vice chair for the past 8 months and serve as chair of the past 8 months and to serve along with Vice Chair Nancy Branscombe and all the members on this board. As all members are eligible for nomination, I'm going to turn over the chair to our Chief Governance Officer, Ms. Johansson, to facilitate the election process. And for your awareness, pursuant to the CSPA, chair and vice chair elections shall be held at the first board meeting of each year. So this is for all police service boards that are governed by the CSPA, and this is a routine proceeding that happens. So with that, I will turn it over to our Chief Governance Officer.
Good for you. So as the chair mentioned, we have legislation that governs the Police Service Board, and as indicated, we hold annual elections for both the chair and the vice chair position. So I'm going to start with the chair position and accept nominations from the floor.
I'd like to move Ryan Goss.
Okay, Vice Chair Branscombe has moved Chair Goss to be the chair for your 2026 calendar year. Is there a seconder for this nomination? Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to look to the members for a vote to elect Chair Ryan Goss as the chair also of the board for the 2026 term. All in favor? Okay, any opposed? Okay, any abstentions?
So.
Okay. Any discussion? Good. Okay, thank you. That's carried. Okay, and then so now we're going to move on to the vice chair. So I'm going to accept nominations from the floor for the vice chair position for the 2026 term. Okay.
Move Member Branscombe.
Okay, so Member Lehman has moved Vice Chair Branscombe to be the vice chair for the 2026 calendar year. Is there a seconder for this nomination? Okay, Member Stevenson. So are there any other nominations for this position? Okay, Seeing none, I'm going to look to the members for a vote to elect Vice Chair Branscombe as Vice Chair for the board, also for the 2026 term. All in favor?
I'm not abstaining.
Any opposed? I think that member else has joined online. So any discussion, any questions? Okay, thank you. That's carried.
I appreciate you turning back to me. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, and I appreciate the support of the board. It is an absolute honor to serve as the chair of the police service board of my home community, the only place I've ever called home. So I look forward to the challenges ahead and working with all of you again, with the chief, with your command chief, and with everyone, including representing the community, which I take very seriously as City of London appointee. So thank you very much, and we will jump into our special guests. Mr. Lang is not the only one being sworn in today. We also have our canines swearing in. We have a unique opportunity to be part of the swearing in ceremony for 3 new LPS police canines, following weeks of training to prepare them for this important role. The handlers are also part of this ceremony, and I think we also have some family members, including maybe our youngest guest ever to the police service board meeting, Taylor. Yes, want to wave? Hi, we appreciate it. We'll try not to bore you too much. Hopefully, maybe there's an iPad close by. But we're really happy to have you here, and this is great. I will turn over to the chief for introductions and to conduct the official swearing in.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. Today is a very special and proud moment for our police service as we formally recognize and welcome 3 new members of the London Police Service, our newest police service dogs, and recognize the officers who committed themselves to serving alongside them. Becoming a police service dog is a significant commitment that requires dedication, patience, and trust. Each of these dogs have been carefully selected for police work, and each handler has completed intensive hands-on training alongside their partner. That training includes obedience, tracking, building and area searches, evidence recovery, and controlled criminal apprehension, all delivered through realistic scenario-based exercises. Equally important, this training builds an unbreakable bond between handler and dog, a bond that is essential to officer safety, public safety, and successful outcomes in the field. Training does not stop there. Our canine teams continue to train regularly throughout their careers to ensure the highest professional standards are maintained. Police service dogs are vital to operational responses. They assist in locating missing persons, tracking and apprehending suspects, searching buildings and large areas, recovering evidence, and supporting high-risk incidents. Very often, their presence alone helps bring situations to a safe and peaceful resolution. Today, we are very pleased to officially welcome 3 new canine teams. Sergeant Andrew Stanley, who's partnered with police service dog Freddie. Police Constable Sean Rufflinghouse, partnered with police service dog Hank. Police Constable Mike Poljanowski, partnered with police service dog Jack. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the families who are here with us today. Being a part of the canine team extends well beyond the workday, as you all know very well. These dogs, Chair, they live with their handlers, they train after hours, and they're on call around the clock. That level of commitment is only possible with the understanding and support of the families who you see here today and the families who are unfortunately unable to join us. And in closing, I really want to thank Sergeant Winchester over there for his leadership and his dedication to the canine unit, his commitment to training, his professionalism, and the well-being of both our handlers and dogs is evident, and today's ceremony is a reflection of his work and his commitment and all that he brings to the organization. So special shout out to Sergeant Winchester, who's been instrumental in maintaining our professional and elite, the canine unit. With that, we're going to start, and I am told we have to do this one by one because we can't bring all the dogs. Okay. So if I can ask, Chair that you join us and Vice Chair. Yes, good.
So. That's right.
First, we have Sergeant Andrew Stanley.
It's overwhelming, buddy, I get it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Chief.
Hey, who's next? Jordan? Who's next?
Andrew, go anywhere yet. We're going to give you your certificate. Thank you. Congratulations.
Take a pop.
You're not scared of dogs, right?
Not at all, actually.
Yeah.
That's.
Badge on that there, Mike, but unless you want me to. How are you?
Okay, don't go anywhere yet, Mike. Certificate of completion. Wait 2 seconds.
There we go.
Okay, Jack, hang on. Can I get Blake to come up here?
Oh, Blake.
Oh, it's not here?
But I'm here.
You get to give this to Blake.
Oh,
Okay.
it's so
So
cool.
Blake's gonna be chief at home and
Thank you so much. Awesome.
Want
Thanks.
to see the picture?
I would love to.
Jack.
Thanks, Kristen. You're welcome.
Congratulations.
My notes are for. I know. I would have done it for the dog treats. You didn't bring your handler. Oh. Thank you.
Sure. Hank, you did it.
Let's take a picture.
Ron, I don't know if you think you can handle this, dude?
Yeah,
It's for you, okay?
thank you.
Certificate of completion.
Yeah, congratulations. Appreciate it.
Okay, and as we wrap up, here's Taylor. You want to come up here, Taylor? Got something for you. Come on up. You're not gonna come up to. I'm with Uncle Rod. No.
She's up there.
Very cool.
Hi, honey. Hang on a second. This right here, this is a junior chief badge. So when you go home, you tell your mom and dad that you're the chief, okay?
Sure, it's now.
This is for you. And this is, we are thanking you and your mom for looking after your dad because he does a lot of work here for us, okay? Oh, hi. Oh, yeah, good job. Thank you, honey.
Thank you very much for the work. So, you can do it together. Hey, Chief, can I get one of those back? Good tree. Taking at work. What I would like to do, like this group.
Give a quick second for everyone to be prepared to assemble.
It's a no force in the fact that him is. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Other house. What's up? Are you? There's yourself. Says a bunch, you want to hear. Yeah. Thank you. Still. Yeah.
That was fun.
Excellent. Well, the canine unit does really important work. So thanks, Chief, for bringing that to the board. We always like to see different units and what they're contributing to our community. It's also great to also show the family support behind what is a very demanding and all-consuming unit and profession. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. And welcome to all our new officers, both in the canine unit and the dogs themselves. We'll move on to item 4.1 in your agenda, the sponsorship and awards for 2026. Not near as exciting as that. Report 2601 PB01. And this responds to the board's direction from March of 2025 to review standing sponsorships and establishes a program level approach for the current calendar year, including proposed criteria, a funding envelope, and delegated authority to support the effective administration throughout the year. I'll invite our Chief Governance Officer to present the report and walk us through the recommendations.
Thank you, Chair, through you. So this report brings forward a proposed 2026 sponsorships and awards program for the board's consideration. It's responding to the board's earlier direction from 2025 to review standing sponsorships and seeks approval of a structured program level approach that includes both known and anticipated sponsorships and awards supported by clear criteria, a defined funding envelope, and delegated authority. So the board has historically supported a number of recurring sponsorships and awards within its existing governance budget, while also responding throughout the year to conference, governance, and community-related sponsorship opportunities, where timing and costs are not always known in advance. The proposed approach is to set clear parameters while avoiding the need to return for individual, time-sensitive approvals that fall within the existing budget. So this report outlines the board's current standing sponsorships, which includes the Lewis Carre Trailblazer Award, the Youth and Policing Initiative Scholarships, the Fanshawe College Award, and the Western University Award. So the amounts listed reflect historical practice and are not intended to be fixed or automatic. I'll just give you a little bit more information about each of the scholarships and awards. So the INPI Scholarship, it supports graduates of the Youth and Policing Initiative who are pursuing post-secondary education. So the current amount for that is $1,000 per recipient for up to 4 recipients a year. The Western Award is based on a fund established in 1978 by former Chief of Police Walter Johnson. So beginning in 1979, the LPA and the board contributed annually to the fund until such time as it reached $50,000. So now what happens is the interest from the fund is used annually to support these awards. So there's usually around 29, 30 applicants, and the amount split is around $7,000 a year. And this is for students who are, I think we are children, grandchildren of people in law enforcement and police officers. So this is around 30 applicants split around $7,000 a year, which works out to around $250 a student. Then we also have the Fanshawe Awards that's currently supported through a 5-year agreement. So the first one was made in 2013, second one in 2018, and the third one was approved in 2023. This board-approved agreement provides for 2 $500 annual awards to be presented to Fanshawe students who have successfully completed the final semester of the Police Foundation's or Protection Security Investigation Program and maintained the highest GPA in the program. The board may review and evaluate, and if it wishes, adjust these amounts that today within the proposed funding envelope. The board will still go ahead throughout the year to approve the actual recipients of these awards, so this is just about the amounts. This report also addresses conference and event sponsorships, which are separate from annual membership fees. So sector organizations, such as the Ontario Association of Police Service Boards and the Canadian Association of Police Governance, as well as other governance, leadership, or policing-related events, may offer sponsorship opportunities throughout the year, with costs often confirmed closer to the event date. The report sets out proposed criteria to guide all sponsorship and award decisions, including alignment with the board's mandate and strategic priorities, governance and professional development value, public interest and community benefit, reputational and ethical considerations, financial reasonableness, equity and accessibility, and transparency and accountability. This report recommends delegating limited authority to the chair and the chief governance officer to approve anticipated or unconfirmed sponsorships and awards that meet these criteria and fall within the approved funding envelope as determined by the board. Any items that fall outside these parameters would then be returned to the board for approval. This is also something that could go through the governance committee as part of its mandate. So from a financial perspective, the report proposes establishing a 2026 funding envelope of $30,000 within the existing governance budget, so not to ask for more money that the board already has for its operations. This envelope would support standing sponsorships, awards, conference and event sponsorships, and recognition initiatives for the community and the membership while maintaining transparency and budget discipline. So in summary, the recommendations seek approval of a structured sponsorship and awards program, confirmation or adjustment of standing sponsorship amounts, approval of clear evaluation criteria, and a limited delegated authority to support timely and responsible administration. I'm happy to answer any questions. Review.
Thank you, members. Vice Chair Brinsco.
Thank you, CEO, for this report through the chair. I'm happy with all of it. I think there's a couple of loose ends for me. One is that I think it should go through the governance committee and then delegate the authority to the chair and the CGO to determine the kind of end result. But I think the governance committee probably has a vested interest in making sure that all this is lined up as well. The second piece for me is, since Lewis Carre Awards are coming soon, I'd like to see us double that one, because I think that's been around for quite some time. And I think it's $1,000. I'd like to move that to $2,000 so that we can get in for this year. And then the last, one more thing, hang on. No, I think that covers it for me. Oh, sorry, there is, the Western and Fanshawe College, they're kind of different. One is for children of police officers set up by a legacy fund. We give Fanshawe College for, the highest of the grades and so on. And I'd like to do a bit of a deep dive onto those to see if we can come up with some consistency. Fanshawe College award is high. When you split up all those kids with that legacy amount, it's $250 a kid. In 2026, it's not a lot of money. So I'd like to see if there's anything to do there. There may not be, but I think we should do a deep dive. So I'd like to refer that to leave it alone for this year, but refer it to the governance committee for some evaluation and see if we can propose something that's a bit better for our recipients. So those are my three comments, and I'd like to move those and the report.
So I have the report moved, and I'll go for recommendation, and I'll look for second. Before I do that, is there any other questions or comments from the members? Seeing none, so the recommendations I have, I'll read out here. The London Police Service Board approved the 2026 sponsorships and awards program, including both known and anticipated sponsorships and awards with a total annual funding envelope, not to exceed an amount as determined by the board. 2, that the board review the sponsorship and awards amounts for the current standing sponsorships listed in the report, namely the Louis Carré Trailblazer Award, Youth in Policing Initiative Scholarship, and Fanshawe College. The amount of the Western Scholarship is dependent on the amount in the Western account and the number of applications. The board consider and approves the proposed criteria outlined in the report with respect to approving individual sponsorships and awards. And 4, the board delegates the authority to the chair and chief governance officer to determine and approve anticipated and currently unconfirmed individual sponsorships and awards within this envelope, provided they align with the board's mandate, applicable policies, and approved criteria. I'm going to add in 5 that this report is forwarded to the governance committee for further review and recommendations on all current programs to be for an update and reassessment.
Except the Louis Carré Awards are in
Correct.
February, and I want them.
Sorry, okay, no problem. So then I'll make a 6 then.
Okay.
That the Louis Carré awards be increased from a total value of $1,000 to $2,000 in 2026. And 7, that the that the recommended total envelope of $30,000 be approved by the board. So I have those on the floor, moved by Vice Chair Branscombe, seconded by Member Lang. Any further conversation, comments on the motion on the floor? Member Stevenson.
Have we advertised the Louis Carré Awards yet?
I'm actually going to defer to the chief on that, or who, either yourself or anyone in your command.
It's true. Yes, I understand that we've started advertising Louis Carré Awards. Yes.
Because I'm just wondering if it causes any confusion changing the amounts mid-process, or I know people won't mind getting more, but people might think, oh, if it was more, I would have put my name in and I didn't.
My understanding, it's not the case, and I think this is more of the board being behind some of the other funding partners that are also part of that award. So kind of doing a course correction to bring us up to 2026 levels. Further comments? Seeing that, I'll call a question. Anyone opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 4.2 on your agenda, the board member travel and training summary, report 2601 PB02. So the next item before us is the report has been authored by our chief governance officer, and it outlines all things related to board member travel and training. It's for your information and discussion and provides an overview of anticipated conferences and training opportunities for 2026, as well as a summary of board member travel and training expenses for 2025. I not to steal the CGO's thunder, but this is something that the Inspector General and the Inspector of Policing really strives for Police Services Board when it comes to conferences and training, and really highlights the need for boards to stay current on legislation, trends in the industry, and roles and responsibilities for the governance that we provide to the service. And that's right across the province for all services governed by the CSPA. So with that, I will turn it over to our Chief Governance Officer.
Chair, through you. So this report, as the chair mentioned, is just for information purposes. So it provides the board with an overview of key conferences and training opportunities in 2026. You did receive one back later last year, but this one is more recent and more updated. So these are to support effective police governance, legislative awareness, and strategic oversight. And then the second part of the report is just to provide a summary of board member travel and training expenses for 2025, in keeping with the board's commitment to transparency and regular public reporting. With respect to 2026 conferences, board members are encouraged to attend, as the chair mentioned. To build governance capacity, stay informed of emerging trends, and remain current on legislative and policy developments. So this report outlines a number of core conferences related to governance, police leadership, and civilian oversight. This list is not exhaustive, and some dates remain to be confirmed, and you will be updated of those. And participation is, of course, subject to budget availability and chair approval is required if multiple board members wish to attend the same event. So,
Members, any questions? Member Stevenson.
Thank you. Yes, I was wondering if we could add to the report the fact, like I attended the OAPSB conference, but my fees are paid because I'm a director of the OAPSB.
Right.
So if it could just show that, you know, that was an expense that the board didn't have to pay.
It was covered by the organization. Good point. Anyone else? Yes, Member.
There are two small typos in there too, where under the chair's expenses, 2025 spring conference is just spelled wrong. And it says beyond to the Blue Gala, and I think it should be beyond the Blue Gala.
Okay. Excellent. So we need a motion on this. Just
No.
a discussion. So I'll look one last call. Any further discussion, comments from members? Seeing none, we'll accept that report for information, and we'll move on to item number 5 in the agenda, which is the Executive Administration and the Professional Standards Branch. The next 4 reports before the board are Section 81 reports, which are provided for information in accordance with the board's oversight responsibilities under the Community Safety and Policing Act. These reports have been received and reviewed, in line with the board's Section 81 reporting policy, and are presented today to support transparency, accountability, and legislated civilian oversight. And I'll turn it over to Deputy Bastine to go over these reports. And for everyone's information, the report's 2601 EA 01, 02, 03, and 04.
Thank you, and through the chair. You have these 4 reports before you regarding 4 separate incidents that occurred between September and October and November of last year. In all 4 cases, an individual in the custody of the police was sustained a defined serious injury according to the SIU Act, and their injuries, the circumstances leading up to their injuries were investigated by the SIU. In all 4 cases, the officers were clear. There was no evidence of any criminal wrongdoing on their part. Following the conclusion of those SIU investigations, the PSB Professional Standards Branch conducted an investigation into the conduct of the officers involved and the procedures of the service, as well as policing provided, as required by Section 1 of the Act. And in each case, found that the officers had complied with the procedure and there was no misconduct. Subject to any questions, those are the reports for the board's information.
Members, Vice Chair Ranscombe.
Couple of things. Through you, the deputy. Why did it take 2 years to investigate this? Like, it seems ridiculous to me. I've got to believe that if there's an SIU complaint or whatever happens automatically, that takes a toll on someone, right? So I got to believe that the officers have that hanging over their head, and I wonder why these reports take 2 years.
Deputy.
Through the chair, I think.
Well, not all of them were, but some.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
I overlooked that piece. So it was, the incidents themselves didn't take place in those months that I referenced. I was mistaken. Those are the months that the investigation were closed. So you're correct. In relation to SIU case 24 OCI 551, which is a custody injury. In that case, the issue there was that I'm just consulting my notes here on the report. That was a case where the individual who sustained an injury, that the individual sustained an injury which was later determined to have been serious, and we were not aware of the injury at the time. So what happened is the SIU received on the strength of the facts that they had at the time, that there may have been a delay on the part of the LPS in reporting the incident. For that reason, it was referred to, I believe this case was referred to the Law Enforcement and Complaints Agency, and they conducted an investigation. So once their investigation was done, it was quite lengthy time. I'm just going to check the notes.
So a normal SIU investigation isn't 2 years?
Typically not. Some SIU investigations are lengthy depending on the circumstances. In cases like the four reported here, in the case where either a person sustains, one of these cases was an overdose in custody, one was two were bone fractures, one was complication resulting from the use of or resulting from a pre-existing condition on somebody on whom a taser or CW was used. So in cases such as those that are fairly straightforward, notwithstanding that they result in serious injury, and they're important in terms of an oversight perspective, they are generally fairly concise for the SIU to complete. So this should be extraordinary.
And the last question I had is, I recall last year or the year before, somebody else was in custody in a cell and they overdosed as well. And I think that's the reason we're putting more cameras in cells and so on. It's not a judgment or criticism, because people do what they can, but with the amount of mental health and drug issues we have now that maybe we didn't have 10 years ago or 15 years ago, is there another step or two that we ought to be taking to make sure this doesn't happen? Or is it still very rare and we think our protocols are fine with it?
Through the chair, I think generally speaking, the protocols are fine, so to speak. And so these were reviewed from perspective of whether or not a criminal offense occurred or criminal negligence occurred on the part of the officer by the SIU. And then in our investigation, the PSB investigation was with respect to whether the officer's conduct was appropriate if they followed procedure. And then if the procedure was adequate. So in all those cases, the result of those inquiries was satisfactory, found that the officers and procedures were satisfactory. Having said that, in a case like this, they are challenging for the officers because in this particular case, the individual had the item concealed in an area of the body, extremely private and in big part of the body, which would have been impossible to detect without a strip search or a highly invasive search. Strip searches are restricted, heavily restricted by police officers and police services are heavily regulated across the country as a result of case law and past complaints or cases that were litigated by the Supreme Court. So unless an officer has specific reason to believe and is able to articulate that he did perform such a search, they can't. So that's not to say that we just throw up our hands and it is what it is. We do have procedures in place, to monitor, but there are some, in very few instances, there are cases where this sort of thing will happen. Thankfully, through the court, through the use of monitoring our procedures and cells with respect to monitoring prisoners. In this case, I believe that the individual actually suffered the overdose while in the custody of another police service. So either here or there in that case, but we do take steps to the extent that we can safeguard against that.
Thank you. Thank you.
No. Any other questions, members?
Sure.
Yes, Chief.
Chair, through you, just to add upon the comments from Vice Chair. This is why, Vice Chair, we are modernizing our cells and detention unit within the organization. We hope to have in place biometric sensors and monitoring system that allows us, because our officers are not medical experts, this technology will support our officers in maintaining people who are in our custody. It monitors heart rate, breathing, and with the opioid crisis that we're in, you're actually absolutely right. 20 years ago, we weren't in this position where our officers are dealing with individuals on opiates such as fentanyl. So with fentanyl, the effects are they slow your heart rate. When people are in that state of risk and concern for us, they almost appear like they're sleeping. And this technology will help support our officers. So it'll monitor and it'll trigger alerts for our members, at which point we can get them to the hospital and not rely upon expecting them to be medical experts.
Great, thank you.
All right, those reports are for information purposes, so we will receive them and we'll move on to item number 6, verbal updates. So I'll kick it off. I just wanted to take a moment as our first meeting of the year just to thank all our members, both sworn and our civilian professionals, for their work over the holiday season to keep our city safe. They were out there working on Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day, Boxing Day, you name it. They were hard at work. Well, so all of us could enjoy time with our families and various celebrations. So I just wanted to thank everyone for their sacrifice and being away from their loved ones to make sure that Londoners could have a safe holiday. So I really wanted to thank everyone for the work that they did. I did also want, this is the first board meeting since several announcements that this board has made as well on some new appointments. We have the new general counsel to the chief in the meeting with us today, and would like to welcome Mr. Chabar, formerly now in the role. We also will have Mr. Roger Ranko soon joining us next month as the first ever chief administrative officer of London Police Service. Both Deputy Bastine to my right and Deputy Chief McSween, who is not here today, but is her spot is being filled in by Acting Deputy Chief Cherney. Both had contract renewals, and of course the chief's contract was renewed earlier in the fall. We also have our former executive director now as our chief governance officer, and today we have now a full board. So I really just wanted to say congratulations to everyone. I want to say thank you to those people for taking on those challenges for the long term for our city. This board has talked a lot about putting in place a team for the long term to ensure stability and to ensure this unbelievable amount of transformational changes that has been taking place is sustainable, and we now have that team in place. So there's still a lot more work to do. We have a lot more items to go through, but this is a pretty important moment in time that we have all those positions filled, and the organization is hard at work, and the expectations are sky high. So we really just want to say thank you, and we committed to the community that they would see results from these changes, and those results are being delivered, and they're only going to get better. So we'll also be seeing more of those updates in the coming board meetings as well. I also, again, just wanted to thank Member Lang for committing the time to an already incredibly busy schedule, as you heard, and for serving our community and joining this board, rounding out our 7th member. It's the first time in a while we're now full, which is a nice feeling. And I just wanted to let everyone know, though this is a bit of an anomaly, it's a bit of a thinner agenda. We did a lot in the fall. So we had a lot of stuff done before year ends, and February and March are looking like very full meetings as well. So I just want to thank everyone for their work and look forward to the year ahead. And thank you for the trust that you've placed in me to lead you on this board for another year. And I'll leave it there and turn it over to our Chief Governance Officer, Ms. Johansson.
Chair, through you. And just to echo some of your comments, I'm really excited about the year ahead. There's a lot of work going on. We're still kind of coming out of the foundation building phase and then sort of moving forward some of the bigger, more exciting stuff. And so I will use this opportunity, as I will probably for the coming months each time, to remind also the public about the impending strategic plan community consultations. So just to give a little bit of background again, so a police service board strategic plan sets out the board's long-term priorities, desired outcomes, and measures of success for public safety in the community. So under the Community Safety and Policing Act, the board is responsible for establishing the strategic direction, which then guides the chief in developing operational plans and ensures policing services are aligned with community needs, public safety objectives, and legislative requirements. So the community engagement piece, as the board has been very clear on, is a really big piece of this. This is a community-oriented and community-facing document and is intended to be a they said so we did. And these are the outcomes we're going to achieve. And then the chief then plans the path to get there. So these consultations are very important. There's going to be a survey. There's going to be 2 community forums where everybody is welcome to attend. We're going to be heavily advertising those when the time comes, but that's coming up soon. And then the other quick just update was, there are a few events also coming up, and keep an eye out on your inboxes for either from Melanie or Sam, the Louis Correa invitation. I think there's a recruit swearing in coming up. There's a few different things on the horizon.
Thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to the chief for his verbal update.
Thank you, Chair. And through you, I'll echo the comments and welcome Member Lang to the board. And we're ecstatic with your leadership and all that you bring to the board, and looking forward to your guidance as well, sir. So thank you. And just to add upon Chair, with respect to Roger Ramkison coming in as CEO, he'll be overseeing organizational wellness and performance. And Ali Shabar, GC, he's actually going to be leading and overseeing our legal services division. So we're really excited to have at the top finally an executive team and a senior leadership team so that we can really move the needle these next 2 years, the last 2 years of this multi-year budget. I'll highlight the gala coming up on February 12th. That is going to be a special night where we get to recognize our members, some big awards being handed out to well-deserving members of our organization, both sworn and civilian police professionals, and we'll get to showcase some of the great work that the public typically doesn't see, and we get to share that with our community. And at the same time, we get to support 2 incredible organizations in this community that is doing tremendous work. That's Bethany's Hope and Victim Services, Middlesex London. So we're really excited about that. We thank you, Chair and Vice Chair, for your efforts and all the work that's been going on for the last year, and everyone part of the committee. So that's a reminder. Everyone's looking forward to that. That'll be the hottest ticket in town. I'll also take this opportunity to share with the board. The board is fully aware of the new advisory councils that will be formed. One for the community with adults, for us, for myself specifically, with command staff, where we're looking to hear, work with, and listen with members of our community. And they'll form the Chiefs Community Advisory Council, and the second advisory council will involve 12 youths from across our city, and they get a seat at the table to sit with myself, and I get to hear directly from them. And we're really excited and really looking forward to these councils. And I had a member of the public approach me about these councils, who had heard that these councils are for to listen to complaints. That is not true. It's actually not true. It's to work together and to for some perspective that we can leverage and consider when we do all things policing. So we're excited for that. And the last piece I'll highlight. I always take this opportunity to highlight some of the work that our people do, and specifically some incredible work from one section under the leadership of Sergeant Scott Owen for this particular incident involving a number of constables, Akwai Samai, Matatal, Constable Murphy, Harlib, Kareem, Warby, Tamburi, Stockwell, Bazzi, Congrats, and Rufflin House. So this year, on New Year's Day, roughly around 10 o'clock in the morning, our officers responded to a 911 call for assistance. And in this particular instance, there was an individual in the Thames River and he was caught in the Thames River and he was screaming for help. And when the officers arrived, they quickly saw that the male was swept within the current and lost sight of the individual for quite some time. When he resurfaced roughly 300 to 500 meters from when they originally saw him, they attempted to rescue him. Now, coordinated response with London Fire, EMS. This showcases their professionalism, our organization working together with London Fire and EMS. They attempted to rescue the male, and during that rescue operation, some of our officers got hurt while doing so. Eventually, they were able to secure the male via rope. London Fire water rescue team went in and pulled them up from a 50-foot embankment, and EMS advanced care performed life-saving measures to take him to LHSC, and his injuries and his state was critical. And now he survived, and I truly feel the only reason why he's alive today is because the efforts of interagency cooperation and the efforts of the officers that I just mentioned. So very proud to share some of the work that our officers do. We look to recognize those officers in a more formal setting, but take the opportunity to share some good news with the board, because these are your members as well, and as well as congratulate our partners, London Fire and EMS. Subject to any questions, those are my updates to the board.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for that story, description. I do appreciate those at the meeting, and it's good to shed light to the public with the good work and the challenging work that's being done. So, members, questions for the chief? Seeing none, thank you. No new business was declared. Anything that's come up in the meeting? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Vice Chair Branscombe, seconded by Member Stevenson. Anyone opposed? That's carried. We're adjourned at 2:01.